Good evening, YouTubers. This is King Grimlock, back for another Grimgram. And first off, a little bit of housekeeping. A big thank you to this man here, Dave, aka Kal-El Prime, for giving me a shout out on his Teletran 3 channel. To have someone say they enjoy your videos is an amazing feeling. To have someone make a video and encourage others is beyond that, and quite possibly beyond words, actually. I was deeply touched by the fact that you did that, mate. It's massively appreciated. And I don't feel under any pressure at all to now live up to those very kind words. No pressure whatsoever. Great. And all of you who have subscribed since and left such lovely comments on my channel and sent me messages, and you're really kind. All of you are very kind, and thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for taking the time to watch my videos. It's massively appreciated, and I do this because I love my Transformers, and if people are getting entertained by it as well, all the better. On to tonight's subject, and we have in front of us Universe Tankor, requested by this man here, Mr. CartmanTuttle. Tankor will be referred to, I imagine, for much of this review as Octane, because that was his name in Generation 1, who he is based off. Octane is a triple changer, and as such can't really be reviewed in the same sense as a general Transformers toy, especially from the Universe line, because as a triple changer, having 3 modes, all 3 modes are going to be compromised to allow him to have them, as it were. So you have to be a little lenient with him. But here we have his jet mode, his bomber mode, which made a brief appearance in the IDW All Hail Megatron comic in issue 12, where he dropped a nuclear bomb on the city. What a git. Which was a nice little touch. I think they actually referred to him as Octane in that, and since then he's become Tankor in the ongoing series, which is kind of odd. But you're not here for character, you're here for toy. The jet mode itself is actually quite good. The wings, the propeller blades turn, which is nice, but the wings are very nice, the cockpit's excellent, and looking at it head on, it's a very good jet mode. It could do with, it slims down nicely here. It's unfortunately let down by the kibble at the back here, is quite chunky and heavy, and the specialist melee blade weapon, which is used in one mode and is kind of tagged onto the other 2 massively, and a bit of a disappointment. There is some gaping hole in the side, but overall for a triple changer that's a very convincing jet mode. There's some fantastic detailing around the cockpit as well, lovely lines, little bits of sculpting, and obviously the blue cockpit area itself. It's actually a very well designed toy, a very well designed mode as well. One of the downsides straight away is the fact that on the wings you have some lovely shading, which is actually, it looks built into the plastic, but it's the main reason is it's painted on the black and the purple, and it's the cream, whereas on the tail the cream's actually painted on because it's part of this blue section here, and that really stands out as it just looks a bit tacky. It looks hand done, really. It's not actually that nice. But we are going to be very short on time, so let's crack on to Tankor's Tankor mode. And here we have Tankor in the word I was looking for, ladies and gentlemen, will of course be oil tanker mode. Again, it's not too shabby. As you can see, the melee blade is now at the back of the oil tanker, much in the same way as the Generation 1 figure had its separate oil tank. This as well is tried to be incorporated into all 3 modes. It only really works in this one. It's highly unsuccessful in both of the others, and in fact you can almost say the plain mode looks better without it. I do love the way they use the guns as exhaust pipes, but I have to say, out of choice, I actually put them towards the back, because as you can see the hand is very visible there, and this wheel as well doesn't actually turn, whereas the other 6 do. And there seems just to be a lot of gaps in this mode. It does seem, not as an afterthought, but as they much like Astro Train from the Classics line, they designed one mode and then the second mode followed. And then the robot mode is the third afterthought. Astro Train was a brilliant space shuttle, but a very average train. This guy's a very good jet, but quite an average truck. But to their credit, what they've actually done to make this go together as it is amazing. The fact you have the wings going up underneath The propellers tucked out of the way. These are all the tail section. It's beautiful. It's beautifully designed. I mean, the engineering behind this is immense. Yes, it doesn't look great. You're never really going to display them in this mode, are you? Though, I mean, that's just bad. But you're never going to display it. But the engineering is amazing. It's you know, you get your hands on it again, and wow, it's just gorgeous engineering work. Detailing again is fantastic around the front. It's not as realistic as the jet mode in the detailing, and around the front it is fantastic because this is the dedicated truck part. The rest of it is sort of detail from the rest of the modes. Overall, though, this isn't bad. It's its worst mode by a country mile, to be honest. But it's not bad, and for a triple changer, that's something. Shall we have a look at his robot then? Octane in his robot mode. Now, when I first got this toy and put him into his robot mode, going through the 3 modes, I was hugely, hugely disappointed by him. I think that with the amount of work that's gone into it, the robot mode seems very badly engineered. The legs are very well put together, and with all these massive amounts of articulation is very good. They are a bit chunky, you know, they are just the front of the truck with the front windscreen pulled out, but they're not too bad. It does make him look very leggy, mind. He does look very leggy indeed. But the main problem is up around the arms. I mean, the chest is fine, the head's quite a nice head sculpt, and you know, these wings can be arranged as you wish. But it's up around the arms. I mean, you've got nothing really. I mean, they're ball joints, but they just don't do them. And this melee bar, I mean, this thing's a joke. Get rid of that. That's shocking. And the hands are bad as well, really, because they are just twisted out of the cockpit area. And they're enormous. I mean, look at the size of that guy's hand. It's bigger than his bloody head. And the weapon as well. I mean, this gun is the 2 guns, obviously, from the vehicle modes joined together, and which is, again, what Hasbro recommends. But, you know, they're the length of his entire arm. There, you know, there is his shoulders as well. And I don't know, there's just a huge level of disappointment involved in when you see this toy put together for the first time. And then one wonderful thing happened. One wonderful, wonderful thing was highlighted, that because of these ball joints, because of these vast amounts of levels of detail and bits that can move in and out because of the transformation, you can play with it. You can customize everything about the way he's transformed, as I will now highlight. And as you can see, with a little bit of fiddling, you can pretty much make this guy have a fantastic range of articulation. Just by swapping the arms round, by turning the shoulders area around, you completely free up the elbow and the shoulder joint, pretty much giving the arms a full range of articulation which they didn't have before. Also, by introducing the melee blade at the back, you just get it out the way, freeing up both hands so you can have the cannons separate, which means they don't look massively cumbersome and stupid. And I don't know, there's just something about this guy now that really screams brilliance. And you can't help but feel that Hasbro would look at this now and go, whoa, that's what we were aiming for. That's what we were going for. I mean, this guy just looks mean. He almost looks insectile with those beautiful clawed arms coming up the side. I don't know, I mean, credit goes, I believe, to Peel for coming up with this design. And this arm articulation, but my credit goes to Urizen on the Moonbase 2 forum for putting a picture up of this and discussing the arm mod in his recent review, his word review of the figure. I mean, it just makes him all the better. He goes from being worse than Astro Train by a considerable way to actually probably better in robot mode. And that's saying something, because I do like the Astro Train figure. Just this arm modification, for me, puts this guy into the good category rather than the disappointing. So, on the whole, I mean, my best advice for it is, if you like the character, if you like Octane, if you like triple changers, Don't be disappointed by this toy when you first pick it up. Play with it. Give it a go. Have some fun with it and see what you can do. Unfortunately, the melee blade isn't attached very well, but you can really have some fun with this guy.